Game 2, real interesting to see what people are saying about the Aces game versus the Dallas game. These are two of the most athletic, most entertaining teams in the W, right? So I was expecting a game that was going to be high flying, lots of acrobatics, lots of fun stuff happening, and we got a lot of that. What I didn't anticipate was how easy it was going to be for the Aces. And I'm going to tell you why it was easy for the Aces. All right, so first thing, athleticism all over the court, amazing, amazing. Here's why Dallas lost. Number one, very few clean looks for Arike Ogunbowale. No surprise to y'all, no surprise to us, no surprise to them. But what are you going to do? We know people are going to double team you. People are going to double team one of the most electrifying guards, shooters, scorers in the W. They're going to double and triple team you. So what is going to happen, right? So when she has to give up the ball, somebody was open for a second. It's usually one dribble and pull up. We saw Satou Sabally do that several times. We didn't see enough of that because her game wasn't on yesterday either. But they lost because a mobile 6'5" is always going to be better than a 6'7" who plays in a 2-foot radius in the paint. A'ja Wilson's footprint literally was all over that court. Literally was all over the court. In the lane, left side, right side, hook shot, mid-range, pull up three. I mean, her footprint was all over. There's nobody like A'ja. We know that. There's nobody like Tierra McCowan. But if your formula for your big is not effective, you may as well not have that big. So Dallas lost because they could not contain A'ja Wilson. Dallas lost because other players on the Aces team were balling out. Kelsey Plum knocked down, about 7 threes. Jackie Young had about 3 or 4 threes. Chelsea Gray had her pull-ups. It was crazy. They looked like the Aces. Everything was just in their flow. Everything was easy for them. So you got to contain A'ja. Number 2, what is this? I can't read my texting. Big length guard. Oh, okay. So the other real big thing that shows up when you play the Aces is how well Chelsea Gray plays, right? So Chelsea Gray, we know she's a baller. She was MVP in the Cup last year. I mean, the finals last year. And here's the thing, and maybe the Cup too, but here's the thing. She's a bigger guard. So she's not just a regular point guard. She's not a small guard like any of the guards in the league. Heidemann, player for the Aces, who played in Connecticut. I can't think of her name. It escapes me right now. Odyssey Sims had a pretty good game for Dallas, but even she's a smaller guard. Chelsea Gray, I was going to say, is my height, like you guys know how tall I am. I'm 6 feet. So she's 6 feet, 6'1", whatever she is, 5'11", anywhere in that range is a very big guard on the women's side of the game. So what you've got is a player as a point guard who can take the bump. She's got guards who are playing her she can shoot over them. She can shoot the mid-range. She can shoot an open shot. She can take you down low. A big guard is an anomaly on our side of the game, in the women's game. So when you have a big guard like Chelsea Gray, it definitely gives you an advantage. She can see over her defenders. I mean, literally, it's like they're not even there. And then when it's time for her to pull up her shot, it's really not a contest shot. So you've got to put somebody bigger on Chelsea Gray, at least part of the game, to at least make it a little bit harder for her to score. Because when you have A'ja and Chelsea doing what they do, and then you add 2 or 3 more in the mix, you're just not going to beat the Aces. So what Dallas has to do to win, they need to take game 2. You don't want to go into your home. You don't want to go back to Dallas down 2-0. That's a lot to do. Yeah, it feels good to be home. Yeah, the crowd's electric. They do a great job of getting people in the building. It's an amazing home court advantage. But you don't want that situation. You don't want that kind of pressure. You don't want that kind of trouble. You got to get a game in Vegas. So what Dallas has to do to beat the Aces, number 1, pick your strategy for containing A'ja. I didn't say stop A'ja. I haven't seen anybody stop A'ja. I haven't seen anybody stop A'ja except for A'ja. But you can make it difficult for her. Okay, in a couple of ways you can do that. Number 1, you've done doubles, you've done triples. So yeah, you got to have a multi-tiered strategy for containing A'ja Wilson. It has to be multi-tiered. It can't be we're just going to do this one thing. We're going to triple team her. That's not going to work. You got to give her a little bit of that. You got to give her a little bit of, okay, I'm going to let you take that 12-foot shot, but I'm not going to let you penetrate on me. You got to give her a little bit of, okay, I'm going to send somebody back just to get back in transition to stop A'ja Wilson from scoring 14 layups. So first thing, you got to figure out an effective strategy to stop A'ja Wilson. Number two, you've got to have a better transition defense strategy. How many times did the Aces just run down? You know, we call it just hold your hand up, post people, just kind of run in the rim. How many times have we seen them do that? So you got to have a better transition defense strategy. You have to defend the transition game. You got to defend the fast break. That's what the Aces are known for. So if they're getting 15 points in transition because you've got a big player, Dallas, who can't run the floor with A'ja, even when you put Kalani Brown in, you're in trouble. She is going to run the floor. So maybe you send guards back. Maybe you send, one or two guards back just to protect the paint until the others get there. What you can't do is rely on your bigs to run the floor with A'ja Wilson. It ain't going to work. So better defensive strategy in transition, better containment strategy of A'ja Wilson. Right? Those are the two things. And here's the thing. When you're playing the Aces, you can't have like this, we're going to do 100 different things. No. As babies do. No. You have to have very specific. So 3 things, very key 3 things, and then some minor things that you adjust to during the game. But for sure, if you don't have a containment for A'ja in place, she's going to have another 30-day. If you don't have a containment plan for the transition, a better transition defensive strategy, they're going to score 20 points in transition, right? And you've got to figure out a way offensively to get other people involved in the offense, because the strategy for Dallas is very clear. Get the ball out of Arike's hands. That's not a surprise to anybody. It's very clear. But what are you going to do to make sure Arike gets some good looks? Because some of her looks were just, she hadn't shot, right? So she's like, I got to shoot this thing. I got to make something happen. I get it. She's the star of that team. She feels a responsibility, and that's her game. So she's going to take some shots. They look like bad shots because she's got to get some shots. So y'all are going to have to excuse Arike in this series because she's going to have to take some bad shots. Otherwise, as we saw yesterday, Dallas is not going to be able to score a lot of points. So you got to figure out, how do I get Arike points? Yes, shots and points. How do I get her going to the basket where she doesn't have anybody guarding her? How do I get a couple of picks before they get set in their offense to give her at least one clean look during the shot clock? And then the other thing is, the other players on the Dallas Wings team, they're going to have to pick up the load. They can't. You have to play the game 2 as if Arike, right, is not scoring. Because that's a big possibility. You have to play the game also, and this is for coach. You got to play the game to get these other people some looks so that they can get their confidence, so that they don't have to play with the pressure that they don't normally have. Everybody's got to do their part. Yes, it's a very easy way to look at this. But those people have to step in, as we saw. I'm gonna give some flowers to Odyssey Sims. She played like a vet. She played like a veteran. And Crystal Dangerfield, I couldn't think of her name earlier. She had some great looks. But those players can't be afterthoughts. They've got to play like everybody belongs there. They've got to play like everybody has a job to do, and they're expected to do that job. So that's what Dallas has to do to take game 2. Y'all heard it. Contain A'ja Wilson. Contain and have a better transition defensive strategy. And get something from the big girls down low. All right, so we will be watching Tuesday tomorrow. Hope y'all enjoyed this. What are your comments? What you think happened in the games? Put them in the comments, and I will see you guys the morning after game 2. Peace.